Hello, everybody. It's been some time. Hope everyone's well. Um, I guess why don't we go over everyone's tasks and then talk about what's in review and what will require those to what we should go over to move them to done. So why don't we start off with Mr. Abhishek?
Yeah, task in progress. I have some issues with that on task. So I have asked to connect. Get through that after stand up, we'll be connecting. So yeah, I'm connecting after stand up with Dennis to resolve those things. So
Okay, perfect.
yeah, and I'll also be discussing on the task and review because I don't have any comment on the task. So I'll discuss with Dennis if it's fine, then it can be moved, or if you want something else to be done there.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right. Moving on to Dennis. Oh,
Oh,
I'm gonna message Paul to join this meeting,
yeah, I'll message him.
please.
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay, so this task is done. Turn max transactions. Awesome. Okay, so Dennis, you want to just give an update on these two?
Yeah. So we got the performance study stuff in there and approved and merged, I think. So that's good. So I also did some analysis on the timing and created a few plots of some of our timing, trying to get some preliminary results local DevNet. So things will vary as we do some more tests on the servers.
Okay. And then the proxy task. You still working on Stuart on that?
Yeah, it's turning out to be a mostly Stuart problem,
Okay.
not my problem. So I'm putting together some code to walk him through what he needs to do.
Okay.
So we have to implement that on his end.
All right. Let's move on to how's it going, Ethan? It's been a while.
Going. Working on the that in progress task. I need to, or is it? Oh, right, because I left it as a draft. Yeah, so I'm working on that task. There's some tests failing in CI that I need to work on, and I need to write a test to validate the change.
Okay. And these are just all of the anchors or anchors for a specific part of the flow?
They are the anchor transactions, or all of the anchors, I guess.
Okay. Cool. All right. So,
That was something I was working on while I was on break or on vacation.
nice. You couldn't stay away.
Well, it's not a critical thing. It's just a code cleanup thing that I wanted to work on.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, Mr. Jupton. So this ended up being a CLI error, correct?
Yeah, so we decided to remove the keybook optional argument and instead prompt users to add authority flag.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this task is done, I guess. It can be merged.
And for
No,
the
no, after merging you can change the
yeah,
state.
and for the instance where you're specifying, okay, so that will be fixed by the authority flag. All right, so that's that.
Yeah, with the authority it is working fine. I wrote a script. It's working good.
All right, perfect. Um,
This
this
is also this is also done. We are just manually testing it. So
okay,
I and Dennis, because the implementation is done and what we want is achieved. So you can assign new task
Oh,
for
great.
me.
Okay, yeah, there's actually a bug that Raja found with burn tokens that you can take on. Um,
Okay.
so
So normal token accounts are not able to burn the tokens, right?
it was just specifying a incorrect key book. Or Raja, you want to speak to that?
Yeah, Jatin, I think in QA channel we have posted and we have also validated it. Like
Yeah.
for the ADI token accounts we are trying and
Okay.
it is taking the
Okay.
incorrect key page. Instead of one, it is taking one, not one.
Yeah, maybe we'll connect after the call. Then we can discuss.
Yeah, thanks.
Sounds perfect. All right. Thank you, Mr. Paul.
Yeah, I started working on the snapshot, but I also spent a fair amount of time looking at the um, accumulate wallet D and uh, thinking through our the approach that we need to take there, and so I would uh, like to talk to maybe Dennis and Ethan sometime today.
Sounds good. And I guess if you want to add that as a task you're working on, uh,
Yeah, we have to. I there is a task number for the snapshot stuff. Um, I'll go grab it.
okay. And Dennis, Dennis and Paul, you guys talked through what's in review, and
I don't
Dennis.
know if Dennis needs to, or somebody needs to run the code and validate that it's walking through. And I think Abhishek, haven't you looked at the reader and validated the reader?
Yeah, so I have done that. But earlier I was trying to move the code of yours to and work with. When I moved the whole package in the accumulate, I'm getting some compile errors.
Yeah.
Which
I
we
wouldn't
have
do
to
that.
fix.
I wouldn't do that at all. I leave the reader where it is. All you have to do is, I mean, the extractor, leave that where it is. Take the reader, which only opens up flat files, so it doesn't have any dependencies on the package it happens to be sitting in. If you just take the main code and the process code and just put it in your code, you won't have any compilers. Yeah, I would not try to bring in the package because the package is complex. Don't do that.
Okay,
Just
so only the main code I should pull it and put
why
in
don't
the
we have
accumulate.
why don't we set up a meeting right after this? You and I'll jump into a meeting and I'll show you. We'll just go through the code.
Sure,
I mean,
sure, sure.
it is so super simple that you should not be blocked.
Yeah, sure. So then I'll call you after this.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Um, we have this is in validation, so that's good, and it's merged. So, what's the next step to move this to done?
As I saw, Dennis modified it a bit, and it's working continuously in 5 processes, but not in parallelization. But if Dennis is satisfied, I think then it makes it work.
Yeah, it's giving us the information we need, so I think it's good to be put and done. So I was using that all yesterday afternoon. I'm just generating some of the data for the other task.
So what were the speeds we were getting?
I put together some preliminary reports. We're getting about 250 TPS at sustained estimate, on a BBN. So that's before any optimizations are done. Things start breaking down. Well, we can do bursts much higher than that, but we can't go sustained mode higher than that right now.
Okay, so with 30 validators, we'd be doing somewhere in the order of 6,000 transactions per second.
Yeah, about that. So that's another thing we need to test is some of the scaling capability of that, which we'll do. That was just with one BPN.
Okay, all right.
But there's also a tremendous amount of optimizations that we're going to be doing too. So I think so. It's kind of just a baseline.
Okay.
I would say also, yes, that we'll need to run tests simultaneously, as you, Paul, advised, before, like from different machines, all of us running it, and then we can be sure of which TPS we can reach.
Okay.
Alrighty. Remove gRPC support. Alright. So, any issues here, Pavlo, with this task?
No issues. Just fixing everything and cleaning up.
Great. Alrighty. Let's move on to Sander. Alright. So is this ready to go?
That has been there for a while, but I talked about this in the meeting on Tuesday before the stand-up about the details.
Okay.
This one is a bug investigation more than it is a task itself at the moment.
Okay. And has the investigation completed?
Nope, because the bug is not particularly repeatable, or is not easily repeatable.
Okay.
Is this a flaky bug? I'm not really seeing a description. Well, because he's not. Yeah.
So sometimes one of the validation scripts fails. And that was happening more often before I did some work on making the synthetic transactions more robust. So it might be related just purely based on how often that error has shown up. We don't really know what the cause is. It's just sometimes we get this error that pops up in CI. And it doesn't show up as frequently after I made that other change, but it still does show up sometimes. It probably, it appears to have the same frequency as the missing synthetic transaction test. So that was failing a lot, and now it's still failing, but a lot less. It's failing only occasionally. So I'm guessing there's still some weird race condition that can cause synthetic transactions to not happen properly. But it's very difficult to figure out why that's happening because it's it's very intermittent failure.
So this is a relatively serious bug.
The bug I'm seeing in the test missing synthetic transaction is very concerning.
Okay.
The failure we're seeing in the validation in the validate admin script is not concerning. I don't know if it's the same thing or not.
Okay. The verdict's open on this bug as to whether it's something serious or something screwy with our tests.
Yes.
Okay.
The other test I'm more concerned about, and I'm guessing just purely based on a frequency that they have the same underlying cause.
Okay. All right.
Okay, replace scratch accounts with scratch chains. So, any comments you need to address, Sander?
Yesterday I went through it and updated resolved all the threads in the merge request. I don't know if anything came up after that, but yeah, yesterday I just updated this and made it up to date with the current develop. Today I did not work on this ticket, but should be good to go. Unless
Cool.
some more comments came yesterday at the end of the day, but
Cool. All right. So yeah, Ethan, if you could take a gander, and then you're working with ARSR.
yes.
Um,
Look from there. I realized I'm looking at the signing code. I see the signing code is using looks outdated. It's not the same anymore as I see in the CLI. I'm writing a test according some code from the CLI, the way the CLI does it, and see if that's working.
okay. That sounds. So it's the way we're marshaling the transactions different.
Yeah, that's another part of it. The marshalling is one part. That's not very complicated in the end. The signing part I'm now
The
looking up,
same
but
part.
that doesn't match. Actually,
Gotcha. All right. Um, very good.
I will update also the Discord channel tonight to update what I've done.
Perfect. All right. So, if I'm not mistaken, Monday, we're starting. I guess pretty much our last sprint.
Actually, Ben, Monday is July 4th. So
Oh, you're right.
most Americans
Tuesday.
will not be. It'll be Tuesday. So do you want to cancel a stand-up for Monday or leave it as optional for people who are working?
Yeah, for people who are working, if you'd like to join it, you're more than welcome. For those who'll be taking the holiday, you're free to take the holiday.
And we'll roll the sprint over on Tuesday.
Freedom.
So Ben, will you be doing the stand-up on Monday? Because if nobody is running the stand-up, there's not a whole lot of point to anybody showing up to it.
Well, just if people want to discuss what they're working on, I guess
Sure.
it's optional for everyone. I'm going to take it easy Monday, but yeah, if anybody wants to,
I'll run it on Monday.
Yeah.
But anybody taking off the July 4th in the U.S. needs to show up Tuesday with proof of gunpowder.
Yeah.
If you don't show up with the smell of fireworks, then we're gonna question you.
That's our new consensus mechanism, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and maybe I would just mention if anybody has the RC1 tasks, it really is a huge priority to get them done by the end of the sprint. Just make sure you're doing, nothing's just sitting around and waiting to be pushed to done. Get all the RC1 tasks done.
Perfect. Thank you all. And if I don't talk to you, have a great weekend.